Welcome to Retirement Decoded with your host, Scott Tucker, where we break down the complexities of retirement planning to give you clear, actionable advice. Whether you're just starting out or getting ready to retire, Scott's here to help you make informed decisions and secure your financial future. Tune in each week as we simplify the process and decode the path to a stress-free retirement. Now, here's your host, Scott Tucker.
And we're back. Welcome back to the podcast, Retirement Decoded with Scott Tucker. I'm your host, Scott Tucker, and I'm here with Associate Advisor Andre Hootie. Say hello, Andre Hootie.
Hello, Andre Hootie.
Andre, we have a question of the podcast today from Denise. Denise says, Andre, my husband and I have most of our assets in retirement accounts and a house that's fully paid off. With all the changes coming from the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, what's the smartest way to start transferring wealth to our kids without creating a big tax bill? You want to start working on that riddle?
Yeah, well, that's a little bit of a loaded question, and I think we are missing a little bit of data to give.
Usually,
yeah, it's for specifics. Give us a call. Go to what's our calendar again?
TuckerRetirement.com.
There we go.
Come on, Andre.
Well, I thought you were going to jump in. I didn't want to steal.
Oh yeah, you got to point at me.
Sorry. Next time.
Yeah, so at TuckerRetirement.com, you can get it on our phone calendar for free. Just click and pick a time works for you at TuckerRetirement.com, and we'll spend 15 minutes for free with you over the telephone and figure all this stuff out with you.
It comes off so easily for you.
I say it more than you do.
Yeah, but so first thing I'll say is without creating a big tax bill, there's questions I have. So one is, how old are you? That's going to depend on what can we do with certain accounts. So if you're over the age of 59 and a half, we can start doing a little bit more tax planning. If you're before the age of 59 and a half, it's a little more complicated to do that.
But Denise is asking something different. She's asking about transferring wealth to kids.
Yeah, so how
about they get a job?
Well, yeah, that too.
That's a piece of advice.
Well, yeah, that's important.
Stop driving your kids to the bus stop.
That'll give them more wealth than you can give them.
Take away their iPad and give them a push lawnmower.
Teach a man to fish and he's never hungry, right? So transferring. So one ththing is
too early.
So one thing to not leave a big tax bill to your kids is making, like, for instance. So Denise, sounds like you and your husband have saved all the money in retirement accounts. So one of my questions would be is what kind of retirement accounts?
How about it's stupid to transfer money to your kids when you're not done living?
Yeah, that too. And well,
not you, Denise, just other people.
And some people are very fortunate and they might have a little bit to give, but you also want to be smart about that because we've definitely seen situations where, parents give the kids some money and then it doesn't go very well. So you want to be smart with how much you give them and when.
Andre, you're killing me. I'm not giving these brats any money. So Denise says, Andre, my husband and I have most of our assets in retirement accounts. So when you say retirement accounts, they're either traditional or they're Roth.
Yep.
My other concern, Denise, my number one concern is for you and your husband. You guys are trying to retire. The kids can work another 50 years. So the heck with them. Yeah. Or however many years they can work.
They should take care of themselves first, and whatever's left is nice.
Denise and her husband should.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the kids.
No. Forget about them.
So Denise says, Andre, my husband and I have most of our assets in retirement accounts and a house that's fully paid off. Congratulations. Both those are great. With all the changes coming from the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, I don't know that there are changes in this area as far as your retirement accounts or your house being paid off. So maybe sometimes people think there are changes from the One Big Beautiful Bill Act that there may not be. So based on the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, what's the smartest way to start transferring wealth to our kids? Don't. Without creating a big tax bill. So there's always been, One Big Beautiful Bill Act or not, it's always been a bad idea to transfer highly appreciated assets to your kids while you're still living.
Yeah.
So that paid off house, for instance. Let's say, I'm just going to use round numbers. Real estate costs different amounts everywhere. I'm surprised how much real estate costs actually. Our house a couple of years ago was like $650. Now it's like $850.
Oh, wow.
Around the corner, somebody just tore apart a house, put it back together. The realtor says it's going to go for 1.2.
Wow.
I'm like, what is going on? Well, the problem is your house goes from $650 to $850. Then Cook County wants an extra $1 billion. Right. Our property taxes went up 43%.
You think it's a conspiracy?
Yeah.
They're just inflating the prices.
Something's going on here. So, Denise, you guys got a paid off house, but I just want to use some round numbers, and I know not everybody's house costs $1 billion. So, unless you live in Chicagoland, and then even a simple house is way too expensive. Yeah. So, let's say you bought the house for $500, you got it paid off, now it's $1 million. Even if you wouldn't do this, but say you're going to gift this to say you have one kid, just make it simple. You gift $1 million house to your one kid. Now they have. They didn't get a step up in cost basis, meaning they have to pay the difference when they sell it. They have a cost basis of $500,000 like you did. If you were to pass away and leave them $1 million house, they get the house tax free. They can sell it the next day for $1 million and pay no taxes. So that's one reason we don't want to be in a hurry to transfer wealth to kids. Something we should caution Denise on, though, Andre, is we don't want to leave behind traditional tax-deferred retirement accounts like IRA, 401k, and those, because you're going to leave behind your unpaid federal income taxes on IRA, 401k, 403b, deferred comp, TSP, SUP, Simple KEO. So let's not leave our unpaid federal income taxes to our kids. Now, Andre, if we leave, how about if Denise and her husband, they get to where they have not specific advice, mileage may vary, but just a hypothetical. What if they had a paid-off house that was highly appreciated, and they had a whole ton of money, and it was all in Roth? They converted everything to Roth over however many years. They pass away, then how does that set the kids up?
Oh, that sets them up way better. Now they still have 10 years that they can hold the IRAs in.
Well, let's talk about the house first.
Oh, okay. Well, so the house, good point. So then they get a step up in cost basis.
Well, they get a paid off house,
right,
worth say $1 million, whatever the number is. I don't care, 500 on 1.5, whatever. You get a paid off house. All you got to do is not let the pipes freeze, pay the property taxes. Like, at a minimum, run the furnace at 50 degrees in the winter.
Right.
If you're in Chicagoland. And so that's just a terrific thing, tax-free house. And I'll tell you something, nobody wants to say this. I'm going to tell you, your kids don't care about your house. They're going to sell it.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
People are like, oh, my old pickup truck, I'm going to leave them, and then my favorite shotgun, and then my house that I paid off. By the time your kids get your house, they're on Medicare. Yeah. They don't even care. They're like, I got my own house.
Yeah.
If you pass away, let's just say in your 80s, we have clients that are in their hundreds now. It's like, oh, God,
crazy.
Times have changed. So we got people in their early hundreds now, and by the time they pass away, their kids are like in their 70s.
Yeah.
Like, your kid doesn't need your house.
The last thing they want to do is go through all the junk and figure out what to keep.
You think your kid's going to move you're going to move when they're 75? Yeah, no, they're or say you're 85 and your kid's like 60. You think your 60-year-old's going to like hire movers and sell their house and move into your house? No, they're going to sell your stuff.
They're looking to retire and move down to Florida.
They're going to sell your stuff. And that's just how it is. We got to get over it. We still have this notion that it's like 200 years ago and it's like a family farm and they're going to work the farm and I'm going to leave it to my eldest son and then my daughters don't get anything. Younger boys can kick rocks. So, transferring wealth to kids. So we're going to play ball here a little bit. So, Andre, if they leave behind, say they have Roth money. So we talk about the house they get tax-free, because step up in cost basis. Another cautionary tale, do not put your kids' names on your title to your house with you.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point to mention.
Not legal advice, not attorney spokesman, but what you might want to do is have a revocable living trust. Talk to your attorney. You might want to have a revocable living trust and then transfer the deed of your house, the title of your house into the trust. And then your trust dictates who gets the house and whatnot and how, but it should be upon your passing. Do not put your kids' names in any circumstances on the title of your house with you. If your kid gets in a car accident, they get sued, whatever, your house stands good for that lawsuit.
And not just your house, though, but things like bank accounts. We hear that all the time.
Yeah, I put my kid's name on my bank account. That's stupid.
Yeah, no. There's other kind of permissions. They don't have to be an owner.
Yeah, I'm not calling Denise stupid. I'm saying if you did that, you'd be stupid. Then, okay, so Andre, say Denise and her husband, they have unused Roth money, and people say, well, we can't put much into Roth. We can only do $8,000 a year and all this stuff. But Roth conversions, they're unlimited, and you can do them at any age, at any income, and you can convert any amount.
Yeah.
Now, Roth conversions are federally taxable, and they do have tax-related consequences. They could increase your Medicare premiums, things you want to be careful with and talk to your financial planner about. So, Andre, Denise and her husband pass away. They leave a big old $1 million Roth, okay? And then how is that treated when the kids get it?
Well, so the kids get to cash it out on day one if they want, tax-free.
What would be smarter?
But the best way to do it, so and maybe, and a lot of times we see this, they might take a little chunk to pay off some debts, whatever it might be, wedding or whatever. But the best thing is you get tax-free growth in a Roth. And now these are, in this case, these would be inherited IRAs. So at the end of 10 years,
inherited Roths.
Inherited Roths. And so at the end of 10 years, it has to be liquidated and the balance has to be at zero, but you get 10 years of tax-free growth, and you have this big sum in the account already. And, even if you don't take any risk and you're just pretty safe, you can make.
So question we always get, Andre. So, I leave my Roth to my, let's say son, daughter, whatever. I'm just going to make it one kid.
Sure.
So I leave my Roth to my son. My son's name is the beneficiary. Now that becomes his Roth?
No, not really. It's his.
Oh, can't he just
Roth.
Doesn't that just become his Roth?
No, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
I wish.
So under the Secure Act of 2019, an inherited Roth, your child gets that, and they have 10 years tax-free growth. And at the end of 10 years, they have to take all the money tax-free. But then when 10 years after you're passing, they get all the money tax-free. Now we can invest it in a careful manner where we can seek to minimize federal income taxes and federal and state capital gains taxes.
Yeah, but I mean, the head start you give your kids, putting them in a Roth, it does
what's good too, if you leave them a paid off house, that's nice. Most kids are just going to sell it. Most kids by then are going to have their own house by the time they get it. And they're just going to sell your stuff because they don't want to live where you live, or that's too far from their job, or they don't like the style of house, or they don't like the drapes. I don't know what their deal is. And then and they're probably going to sell it at a bit of a discount. They're going to sell it to like one of those private equity places that buys your house and gets all the junk out.
Close in like 15 days, just cash on
Close
hand.
on your timeline. You leave it like you found it.
Yep.
But now if you leave an IRA, under the Secure Act of 2019, if you leave an IRA behind, the kids have to fully liquidate the IRA within a 10-year period, pay federal income tax on all of the money. You push them up in a higher tax bracket. At the end of 10 years, by federal law, that IRA has to be to zero balance. The Roth IRA is kind of the opposite. They're going to get it tax-free. They can take all the money, or we would encourage them to maybe leave 90% of the money growing tax-free for 10 years. At the end of 10 years, then they have to cash it out, and then we can reinvest it another smart way. But getting the traditional IRA turns them into spenders and squanders and taxpayers. Getting the Roth IRA with the right counsel, like we would give them, is we turn them into savers and investors. And so you don't want your kids just going out and buying a bunch of stuff and paying a bunch of taxes. Ideally, you want them growing the money you left them tax-free. And when you do that, you kind of put training wheels on the kids and guardrails. Kind of like you've ever taken little kids bowling. They have the bumper rails.
Yeah.
You don't throw a gutter ball. So, because it's like these kids in the NFL, they're like 25 years old. They don't get do-overs if they screw up their money. And it's the same way with people who inherit money. They don't appreciate it as if it was their own. And so we got to be careful with that we set them up for success. We want to honor your legacy. Think about that, Andre.
Yeah, I think you make a good point. It's you train your kids a little bit to be more savers. Young kids, I know a lot of my friends, on the younger end of things, and they're not great savers. Credit cards make it really easy to spend nowadays, and
you just tap; it's all free.
Yeah. And they don't really think about it. And I'm not sure what happens between generations, but the younger generations just spend. They don't really seem to be savers.
Oh, you've been listening to your parents.
Yeah, probably.
Your parents are probably, or your grandparents say, "What's with these?" And so your grandparents and parents were born in Ukraine and been here for, I don't know, how long now?
Oh, I don't know, 20 something years.
Yeah. But they got to look around and say, what is going on in this country?
It's definitely a little shock, how things have turned a little bit here. But, that said, it's still one of the best countries in the world. And, you get all the opportunity here.
Oh, it's the number one, what is it? Like it's the number one English-speaking country in the world. There's only 5. There was what was that comedian? It was a Borat or something stupid. And he was saying like Austria, the number 2 German-speaking country in the world. Something like that. There's only 2 of them. So, Switzerland, I guess. Northern Switzerland.
Yeah, well,
The number 2 German-speaking country in the world.
So Denise, so one other thing, it's the tax planning is really important while you're alive. Not only does it help your kids down the line, but it also helps you and your husband. You guys minimize your lifetime federal income taxes with doing some tax planning. So if you haven't started that yet, we're happy to help you. Go to tuckerretirement.com and you can schedule some time with us on our phone calendar there, and we'll spend 15 minutes with you and then see how we can help you. But one thing to add, and Scott, I know you're not a huge fan of this, but there is an annual amount that you can give to your kids.
Yeah, it goes up every year or doesn't. For 2025, it was $19,000. So each person, Denise, you and your husband in 2025, each of you could write a check to each child for $19,000. So if you got your son Bubba and then his wife Babette, Denise can write 2 checks for 19 grand, one to each, and then her husband Bob can write 1 check for 19 each to each of them. So you can pretty well give them quite a bit of money, and then each year that amount changes. But say for 2025, of course, that would be $76,000 that you could gift them tax free. And you also would not have to file a gift tax return so long as you stayed within those parameters. You go a penny over, now you file gift tax returns, and it's a pain in the butt. Yeah. The other thing, so that's a good point, Andre. Oh, the other thing, say you've got kids. Well, I don't know if we said if you have grandkids. Let's say you have grandkids. Your kid gets accepted to college. What might be a better thing than gifting money to your adult children, because that can screw up the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. That's how the kids get grants to go to college if they go to college. Not that everybody should. College is kind of a sham nowadays, Andre.
Yeah.
I think if I was to do it over again, I'd just be an electrician.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty good money nowadays.
But so what you can do, though, there are some kind of loopholes in that gift gift exclusion deal. What you can do, so say one of your grandkids gets accepted to college, so long you don't want to gift the money to the parents or the kid while they're going through that FAFSA process, because they may then look too rich on paper to where they say, well, you can afford college, you're not getting grants. So keep the money out of the kids and the grandkids' names. And then when the kid goes to college, and I would do this, you can do it in bigger amounts. I would do it semester by semester, because how many kids of, I grew up in Michigan, and how many kids drink their way out of Central Michigan University? Ferris State University, the two biggest drinking. Yeah. But right along with them, how many kids drink their way out of Michigan State University? I mean, these are some pretty... these schools have some pretty good party programs. Yeah. And some of the kids major in it. So how many times have whatever college, how many times have you heard a kid washing out of college? Most freshmen. Yeah. What's the percentage? Is it half the freshmen every year or whatever? It's something crazy.
I don't know the percentage, but I wouldn't doubt it.
I think at Michigan State, the acceptance rate at Michigan State somewhere around 85%. The stat that I remember from when I was like in high school or college age, the stat that I was hearing, it was like 85% acceptance rate, but 50% of freshmen don't ever come back. That's 50% of freshmen at Michigan State don't become sophomores.
I mean, I feel like that's pretty quick to figure out that you don't want to study whatever you chose to study. Couldn't you figure that out 6 months before?
Didn't you know that in high school?
Yeah, like it's
when you had a solid B- average.
Yeah. Like nothing's changed over the summer.
It's just I think the lack of structure and all the distractions and the semi-adulthood,
right? Yeah.
And a lot of kegs of beer.
It's the best of them.
So what you could do is you could you can actually pay the tuition of your grandkids. Let them go through the FAFSA process, let them get the grants and all that. And then once all that's in motion, then say, hey, how much is the first semester cost? So rather than having a bunch of debt, or, once you know what the grants are, talk to the parents and the kid and say, hey, how much is the tuition cost? Okay, don't go get a bunch of dumb loans, especially if you save some money. We have clients, we have a couple that have saved, they're worth $4.2 million. And they're just blue collar people, and they're worth $4.2 million, early 70s. One of their kids got accepted to a really great university in the Midwest. And we said, hey, you can just write checks directly to the school. But if it's me, I would do it. Their grandkid is a freshman. I would do it one semester at a time. So if they flake out, then yeah, okay, it was an experiment. Now, and that particular grandkid, his buddy is an electrician's apprentice right now, first year out of high school.
Really?
And so so if college doesn't work out, I would tell that grandkid, hey, remember how you said your buddy's an electrical apprentice? Not a bad way to go. A lot of those guys end up making a ton of money, owning their own businesses and all kinds of things. My cousin Chad back in Michigan, he was he didn't know what to do after high school, so he kind of did this job and that job. And then he was 23. He got in with the sprinkler fitters as an apprentice. Mm-hmm. He's now a superintendent for the biggest fire protection company in the Lower Peninsula of Michigan, and it kind of goes into Ohio and some stuff too, making a great living. And he got off the, it sounds like a crack addict. I was going to say he got off the pipe. That sprinkler fitting thing, there's a lot of heavy overhead work with those pipes.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like they're the bigger pipes, and then they get down to smaller pipes and everything's, I mean, just imagine overhead all the time like that, and you can get on scaffolding and get it to where it's not always overhead, but a lot of times it's in the ceiling or in the overhead. Yeah. Like I was in the Navy, so they call the ceiling the overhead. A lot of times in the overhead, you're working over your head all day with heavy stuff and that. And so, he figured out that when they offered him a promotion to the office, he goes, yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I mean, you can only do physical work for so long until it's taking a toll. Yeah,
and even the guys that are still on the job sites, they are, they have the apprentices and the younger journeymen do a lot of the heavier stuff because the older guys have already done that. And they're like, I'm already all worn out.
Yeah. Like I put my time in. It's time to
your body parts and stuff, you get some wear and tear. So, so if you write the check directly to the financial institute when you write the check directly to the educational institution, the college, university, whatever, when you write the check direct, it doesn't have to go through that gift tax limitation thing we talked, or that gift exclusion limitation. So if it costs $50,000 for a semester, like it's some kind of crazy beyond Ivy League thing,
I think that's just a standard cost.
That's what it costs now.
College.
So say first semester costs $50,000, you just write the check directly to the institution, and it doesn't count as having passed through the hands of your kid or grandkid or any of that. And there's no paper, there's no gift tax return to file. The other thing too is if you have a family member that needs help with medical bills, you can pay the medical bills directly to the provider, and it does not fall under that gift exclusion deal that we were talking about earlier. So, and it's tax free and no gift tax return to file. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that and you get to really kind of test your kids or whoever you're giving the money to see, are they going to do something good with it, and do you write them into your will/trust?
Well, you're not giving it to your kids.
Well, right, in that situation. But I'm saying, so if you do, if you're just staying under and you're giving it to...
if you're doing the gift exclusion deal, you're doing like the 19,000. Yeah, see what they do with it. Do they go to Rivers Casino, Des Plaines, Illinois?
Yeah, I can double it.
Double or nothing.
All right, well...
Just put it all on black.
It wasn't mine, right?
Yeah, you can learn a lot about your family.
Yeah. Yep. Unfortunately.
So, Denise, hopefully this was amusing, if not useful. Get in our phone calendar at tuckerretirement.com. We'll spend 15 minutes for free with you over the telephone and get your questions answered, Andre.
And your answers questioned.
At tuckerretirement.com. And we'll talk to you on the next episode.
Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. has a strategic partnership with tax professionals and attorneys who can provide tax and or legal advice. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions. A Roth conversion is a taxable event and may have several tax-related consequences. Be sure to consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding your IRA. The views and opinions herein are those of Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc., and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of AE Wealth Management, LLC. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, AEWM, and Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. are not affiliated companies. Insurance products are offered through the insurance business, Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. is an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. AEWM does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. are not subject to investment advisor requirements. AEWM and Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this podcast shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc.